Thanks for joining us. What a thrill this is. Identical twins. They're called the Harp twins, and we have Camille Kit and Kennerly Kit. And I have them alphabetized, so I know which one is which. Thank you, girls, so much for being here, all the way from Chicago.
Yes, thank you for having us.
All right, so we have your harps with us. We're going to hear you play in a little bit.
All right.
How did you start playing the harps? And you guys just take turns?
Oh, sure. Well, we had a friend whose mom played the harp. We were about, I think, 11 when we were first exposed to the harp. And
we got to see one in person, and our friend's mom let us try her harp, and we were just instantly in love with the harp. So we asked our mom if we could play, and she said no.
She said no?
She didn't have enough money to buy us a harp or pay for lessons, but we were really just very, I guess,
enamored, and so we did a lot of odd jobs to earn enough money for a harp, and we did dog walking and babysitting, and we did collating at a local print shop, and we earned enough money for a small used harp, and so we shared that first harp.
And so that was our first.
Was it a huge stand-up harp that you shared?
No, it was relatively small.
More like a Celtic harp.
It was a lever harp, little levers on the top,
and we took lessons from our friend's mom, and
that's how we started. We eventually went on and got degrees in harp performance from the Conservatory of Music in classical music.
But at Wheaton College.
That's right. But on the side, we were doing our rock and metal.
Rock and metal and harp doesn't really go together, but you guys make it work. We should say that you're a black belt in Taekwondo.
Third degree.
Third degree. Yeah, I was going to get to that because you're type A personalities. I know that. You went to the Junior Olympics in swimming.
Okay.
What else did you tackle? You graduated summa cum laude.
We did.
What else is involved in your lives?
Let's see. Well,
we've always done a lot of volunteer work. We had a cousin who passed away, but he had severe disabilities, and so
because of him, we were always involved in programs that helped those with disabilities and special needs, and so
especially kids and young adults.
Yeah. So you're perfect identical twins.
Oh wow! Well, thank you. I don't think that's true.
I just asked somebody, what if one of you wanted to cut your hair?
Then I guess we just would.
But nobody has decided to do that.
No.
Do you ever disagree?
I mean, once in a while, but
it's usually very trivial.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
You never, because looking at each other, it's like looking in the mirror.
I guess so. We don't really think of it like that.
No.
Because this is all you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you write your own music, and if you do so, who writes most of it, or do you collaborate equally?
We do write original music. It's kind of Nordic, Celtic in flavor.
And it's definitely a collaborative effort.
I don't even know if we have a normal process for it. Sometimes we'll just sit down together and write, and sometimes we do our own parts and then combine them.
And somehow it always works. I don't know.
Yeah, it varies a lot with our writing process.
So as kids, you decided to play the harp. You traveled the world in many different places. Where's the end game here? What do you've studied acting, you play music, you're in terrific shape. In 10 years from now, what are you going to be doing?
I hope we're still playing music.
Yes.
I mean, that's our true love is playing harp, so I guess that is the end game.
Playing music, enjoying it, sharing it with as many people as want to listen to it.
You get millions and millions of hits on YouTube. People are watching you because you have a flair when you play. You've got a ton of different costumes, and nobody has seen anything like you. Are there any other identical twins in the world that play the harp?
I mean, not that we know of, but I guess we just have various passions, and we love rock and metal music, and we love harp, and so we decided we'd try to combine those things.
We weren't really sure if anyone would want to listen, and we had lots of people tell us that no one would want to listen. But
we even had a college professor at our Conservatory of Music that told us that no one would want to listen to
that. Makes you try harder.
I think so. Yeah, a little bit.
When someone says no, you can't do that, you just say, hey. Whose idea was it to do heavy metal on harp and not do just your basic harp music that everybody knows?
I don't even remember
I think we were in high school when we first started trying to arrange things that we wanted to play for harp versus just playing classical music and music that had been played by harpists for centuries.
I mean, we really appreciate our classical training because it allowed us to do what we do at a high level.
But at the same time, classical music was never our passion. And so, yeah, I think it was in high school we just decided we wanted to see if we could find duet arrangements of like classic rock songs. And
there was nothing.
You know, we couldn't find a duet harp arrangement of Metallica, so
we just started teaching. We just started teaching ourselves, and just kept going and started putting our things onto YouTube, because we would tell people, oh, we play rock and harps, and they would go,
that sounds like
that sounds terrible.
That sounds awful.
So how do the audiences differ from the United States as opposed to Europe or anywhere else that you've played?
We've played quite a few times in South America, and I don't know. I think South American audiences are interesting because they're really passionate about metal music. So there's a lot more females that love metal than I think in the United States. Not that there aren't female metal lovers in the United States, because there are.
But I think South America, they just love music in general, so
but it's fun.
Very passionate.
How many harps do you own?
We have...
we each have 2 electric harps. We have concert grand harps that are acoustic. We have concert grand harps that are electroacoustic.
And then we have a couple of very small harps that we use for, like, mostly for therapy type situations. Like, they're very light, and we can set them on people's laps that are, you know, that are kind of more delicate conditions.
Yeah, so we've done that a lot.
And the harps that you will be playing today are electric.
They're electric harps. Yes.
And were they made especially for the two of you?
No, the company actually makes electric harps. Just until we started playing them, no one really played them.
So you should have your own harps, and you'll see them. They're black and they're really neat looking. What has this enabled you to do in your lives that you never thought was going to happen?
I think... I don't know. I think travel is one thing.
Travel for our living, you know, travel to perform different places. I don't know if we ever thought that we would be doing that.
It just kind of gradually happened, and people started hiring us out of our own area, and we started going other places.
Yeah, when we first started, I think it was in late in high school or early college, we sat down and we talked about what we would want to do if we could succeed at anything.
If we were guaranteed to succeed
success
at anything.
And we decided we want to play music together. And it wasn't necessarily like we thought we'd be doing lots of traveling, and it just turned out that way, I guess.
Yeah.
What if one of you decided, I'm over this? Would the other one go on without the twin? Have you ever discussed that?
Harp twin without the
Harp
twin. We'd have to change all our branding. It'd be very difficult. You know, I think no matter what, I think we've always wanted to do something together.
We would be miserable if I think if we were doing separate jobs in different places, we'd be completely miserable.
Life is just way more fun together, so why not?
That's so awesome. You always dressed alike as little kids just because you wanted to. I mean, some people, I have a set of twins that are fraternal twins, and they never wanted to dress alike. But not the case with you guys.
Well, our mom would just kind of get us whatever, you know, and we'd get hand-me-downs from other people.
We had an older set of twins. They were fraternal girls that we knew, and they give us their hand-me-down clothes.
But we would always fight over the items because we liked the same things. So our moms just said, you know, do whatever you want. This is not the hill I'm going to die on. If you want to dress like, that's fine.
We've always liked dressing like. I think people often will think it's part of our thing as
like, oh, this
musicians.
is a Harp Twins thing, but we're just weird.
It's just us, and it was we were in, I think, like around middle school, we started getting self-conscious about dressing alike because people started to tease us about it.
Yeah, and then we just decided we didn't care.
We started wearing the same thing in different colors.
That's true.
And that was our big, like, oh, we're going to dress differently.
If somebody says, here comes the Harp Twins, how do they describe you?
Oh, twins that play the harp?
No, there's more there's more than that.
I don't know.
I guess
you'd have to ask them.
So you talk alike at the same time as well?
Occasionally. One of our life goals is just not talk over each other, and we
concentrate very heavily on that.
So you're like an old married couple, kind of.
I guess so.
I rest my case. All right, so you've learned a little bit about Kennerly and Camille, and now we're going to hear them play. Thank you, girls.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
and if Walter's right here, then who else is missing? Got a little sidetracked if I'm so wishing I found the keys to the door, but it's also a metaphor. Need to keep locked in the grocery store, but mine just to save time. I'll skip right ahead to the last ride.